right, hi everybody. This is going to be a bit of a weird episode because Danny's immune system is it's just not the vibe, is what I believe Gen Z would say. Me and Danny
it's
went.
not lit.
It's not lit, no.
No.
So like decidedly unso. So me and Danny went to Anime Expo this weekend, and we had just a grandiose old time, didn't we?
Oh yeah, great time. Afterwards, not so much for me. I got what a lot of people in the business are calling vid.
The vid.
Yeah, the vid.
Mhm.
Not to be confused with Viz.
Mhm.
And
Who
the
was
next,
hosting us?
Yeah, who was hosting us? And then afterwards, the vid was hosting me
Yes.
because I went home, just had like an absolute throat full of nails, obliterated vocal cords, and I was like, that's like per the usual. I don't drink a lot of water.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, I scream a lot. I'm not hydrated. Makes sense. And then I stopped tasting, and I was like, oh.
Oh no!
Like,
I've had COVID 3 times. I've never had that happen to me.
It sucks. The first time, it happened to me once from an AJR concert, and I was with Sarah,
Oh, God,
and
that makes me so sad to hear.
I know.
Of all the places, just like,
I
yeah, we're
know.
listening to way less sad, and I just somehow came out with COVID.
I know, like not worth it. Like
No.
when you get sick from an AJR concert, the whole rest of the week you're like, I could have gone without the concert. I could have gone without seeing AJR live.
There's some things that are decidedly worth COVID. I don't think AJR is there.
But like when I first got it, it was with Sarah, my girlfriend, and we were like, my mom had gotten us this like a nail polish remover, and my mom like swore by this. She was like, "It's crazy, it's dope. It'll get your nail polish off super fast."
Okay, I thought this was like a COVID remedy. Like she was like, yeah, just
Yeah, drink.
it. Yeah,
Drink this shit.
Yeah, if it can strip away nail polish, it can strip away the COVID.
Yeah, but and so we get it, and we're like, all right, like let's do our nails. You know, we're sick. Well, let's do a fun little at home thing, and we open it up, and I'm like, oh man, this thing's crazy. It's scentless nail polish remover, because nail polish remover has a very strong odor.
Yeah.
And then it was like a couple days later, I like opened it again, and I smelled it, and I was like, oh no, we have to test. I was like, this is not scentless.
You were just balling out, just being patient zero. I love that for you. Oh man, the amount of damage you could have inflicted on like the Hollywood elites if you had come this weekend. Oh my God, it could have been. The thing is, we could have seen the ripples through like all of the content on YouTube. It would have been. Oh, it would have been so
I know.
good.
I could have killed Smosh. I could have single-handedly killed Smosh.
They just bought it back. Like, oh, gotcha, man. Like, that's what you get for buying it from Rhett and Link.
So you want to explain what you did this 4th of July?
Yeah, the context here is Nick got invited to a real people like 4th of July party. It was a content creator. Nick and Danny, yes. Michaela, the lady we just interviewed, was like, hey, you know, like, because like we're kind of cool. She hung out for like 2 hours after the pod, you know, like took a business call on my carpet, just like swinging her feet. And I was yeah. And so she was incredible, but she was like, hey, I'm going to this party on the 4th of July. It's this credit system for content creators. And I was like, okay, cool. She sends us the RSVP link. There's 3 people going. And I'm like, okay. It's like me, the host and her. And I'm like, this will be intimate. Get there. So full. So full. So many people are there. And then so I'm shooting around. I'm content, you know, I'm being a content creator. I'm networking. I'm there with Dorothy. I'm trying to talk to like all the women. Like, so I'm like, oh my God, your jewelry, it's so cute. Have you heard of Flair & Co? And I'm pitching her. I'm like literally elevator pitching all of these women. All of them are OnlyFans model. Like I think I talked to 12 women, 9 of them were OnlyFans models. And Dorothy was like, they were all pretty. And I was like,
yeah, professionally.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no, like they clearly are good at their job. And
I like that you're like backed into a corner. We're like, I guess if we're going by the beauty standards of America, one could assume that they're pretty.
I would say they were symmetrical. Maybe that's about as far as I would take it. So I'm popping around, and Jose's there as well, and we're all networking. I see Jose talking to a dude with an American like bald eagle shirt, like a trucker shirt, like a gas station shirt. And I'm like, oh, this dude has like horrendous fashion. I want to go talk to him because like I love the decisions he made being here. And so I'm like, oh man, what's your name? He's like, Ian. I was like, oh, nice to meet you, man. Like I don't watch YouTube, by the way. This is like a really good like part to where I'm
Imagine
like,
not knowing who Smosh is. Imagine, audience.
I know the word, I don't know the face. And so I'm like, nice to meet you. He's like, I'm Ian. I was like, cool, man. I was like, where'd you get the shirt? And he was like, he was like, while we were on tour, I found it at some gas station. I was like, oh, tour. I was like, what do you do comedy? And he was like, yeah, I did. Like, we were doing like a show. We did like a 5-city tour. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, yeah, it was down in San Diego. I was like, what's the show? He's like, we do sketch comedy. I'm like, no way. That's dope, man. Like, congratulations. Like,
how annoying.
And I was like, what's your channel? And he was like, oh, Smosh. And I was like, I literally my balls dropped. I was like, oh. I was like, oh God. I was like, oh, I've heard of you. That's cool. And so me and him end up talking for like 2.5 hours, talk about Burning Man, talk about polyamory. And yeah, I'm a deep question guy. I never ask like I'm never like, oh, how was your day?
You're like, how many wives do you have?
Well, so I was like, so we were talking, and it was like, talking like, brothers to get me and Dora like want kids one day, and I was like, would you and your partner ever want kids? He's like, well, my partner's married, and I was like, and I have this thing where I have to like I yes and people so hard.
And you're like, mine too.
Well, I just got her for the weekend. Actually, this is dope. But no, I have this thing where I have to be like, because I don't want people to be uncomfortable, especially when they say something like that's usually like kind of considered out of pocket. And I'm like, oh man, that's beautiful. Like polygamy is tough. I was like, monogamy is tough, man. Like, gotta find your love where you can get it. And he was like, you don't have to yes and me on everything. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. And then he leaves, a couple hours later, and we've been chatting. And Dorothy was like, you were weird with him. And I was like, what? I thought I did. I did.
No.
She was like, you were treating him like he was a big YouTuber. And I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep that night. I was drunk off my ass, like spinning, wanted to sleep so bad. And I was like, I fucking blew it with Smosh.
I knew, that's so funny, because I knew something like this must have happened, because I texted you called me, and you were like, yo, you gotta get down here. Smosh is here. And I was like, that's so sick, dude. That's hype.
He literally sounded like he had the suds. Like I called him, and I literally pulled him out of 6 foot under, and he was like, grumble. Like you should have done like you read a book or something and recorded it. Like, who was that guy, Ghost Husband or whatever his face was? He just had like
Corpse
Husband. Yeah, that's like what you should have done, because you
watch a YouTube video.
You sounded like Ray Liotta like a week before he died. Like, I love Chantix. I love my cigarette gum.
You called me. You're like, Smosh is here. I'm like, that's sick. And you're like, what do you have, the suds? And I'm like, Nick, please.
You sounded like you sounded awful.
You were so hyped. And then later that night, I texted you. I was like, yo, how'd it go with Smosh? And you're like, he's nice. And I was like, oh no.
He was.
Oh, no.
Like I was like, Dorothy just immediately, like, she could have waited like until I was like pumped. And I was like, oh man, I just talked to like the fucking YouTube 1.0 guy for like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And she was like, fucking weird, eh? And I was like, oh, I was like still at the party for like 2 hours. And I was just like empty eyes talking to people, just like relaying the conversation. I was like, where'd I go wrong?
You go up to people and you're like, hi, I'm Nick. Hey, if you could imagine me talking to Ian from Smosh, do you think it'd go well? I think it'd go well.
Do I look like the kind of guy who could hold a conversation? Yeah, no, I don't. Okay, cool. You and my girlfriend agree on that one. So it was wild. The guy who hosted the JJK panel, the Korean dude with the long hair and the top knot. He was there. He just showed up at 7.
Whoa.
And I was like, dude, I literally just saw you AX. Like half the people there were weebs. It was crazy, man. It was like a full trip. And now I'm going to pickleball on Saturday. So apparently I've been adopted into the LA socialite elite whatever thing or so. You want to come to pickleball?
I guess on Saturday, I think I'll still have COVID.
I think you will as well, but I'm thinking like funny long play here thing.
I just want to see the ripples. Yeah,
exactly. Every influencer in LA just wiped out.
No, I am like mildly grateful that I have COVID, like purely because of my FOMO. Like you were at a party with Smosh and Toph, another guy that I'm friends with who invited me to a 4th of July thing was at a party.
The other half of Smosh.
Had Anthony. He had Caleb City, who we met at AX, and I was like, that was my Smosh moment where like the whole Nick was like very calmly like, oh, that's Caleb City. And I was like, that's who? And then we
Yeah.
went and like shook his hand. Nick's like, hey man, like love your content. Didn't know you were a weeb. And I was like, hi Kevin. And like just like dripped all over him. And then like the whole rest of the day, I was like to Nick, I was like, Caleb City was nice. And he's like, I know, we met him together. Stop saying that. Like,
oh man, he was really cool though. He was getting mobbed by the cosplays. But yeah, so I guess we should probably talk about AX, Anime Expo, LA, biggest anime convention out there. Me and Danny did 3 days together. Yeah, we did 3 days. We did Monday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Weird of you to go backwards.
I don't know why I did that either.
That threw me off.
We did Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But the first day was Saturday because they wanted like AX always has to fall on the 4th of July, but the 4th of July was on a fucking Tuesday. So
guess what? No, it doesn't. I changed that rule.
Why? Like what? I guess like fireworks and like seeing like America cosplays is kind of cool, but like I don't know. Like 4th of July being on a Tuesday also just feels weird. Like I feel like we should have sliding schedules. Like I feel like 4th of July should be like 4th of like the July 1st to 7th, like whatever a Saturday.
Yeah,
whatever a Monday.
Whatever's a Monday. Don't fucking slap that on a weekend.
Well, in California, if a holiday falls on the weekend, you still get Monday off.
Hype. That's sick.
Get fucked, rest of the country. This is why we pay taxes. But like, so it was super cool. It was packed, but like me and Danny were able to cut all of the lines. So like me and Danny were seeing all the TikToks. Danny did, you rated the lines like we fucking waited in any of them.
Chill out.
Danny's like, here's the top 3 lines in Anime Expo. Like we didn't like be like, sorry, excuse us. Here's my page. Get the fuck out of my way. Because we had industry passes. Fortunately, we'll talk about that later. But we were on a list for a lot of things, so we didn't really have to wait for anything. But the lines did look brutal.
Yeah, the lines were vicious. You're interesting in telling the story because we did have industry passes, but those aren't like a catch-all to every panel. What is a catch-all is Riz and lying. Because the coolest moment, I felt like I was in an Ocean's 11 movie. And like this was the moment that I like, when we first met, I looked at you with very like starry eyes, like you're this rich, successful YouTuber, like you're very cool and slick. And then like, and now we're friends.
Before we started recording, where the fuck?
Yeah, I just said slick, didn't I?
I guess, yeah, fuck me then.
But like, I was very like starstruck when we first met. And then now we're friends, and so it's very chill when we hang out. But we're going to the Bungo Stray Dogs panel, and Nick was like, we got to go to that. Your audience loves Bungo Stray Dogs. And so we get there, we're like late, and we like don't have passes to like this one.
Nope.
And Nick is like, on our way, Nick's like, what's streaming service do you watch this on? And it's like, oh, Crunchyroll. And he's like, okay, cool, that's who we're with. And then he like drags me, we go in, and he's like, hi, we're here with Crunchyroll, and like flashes our pass that means nothing. And they're like, all right, right this way to the front. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Like, Bungo Stray Dogs is capped. Nobody else is allowed in. And I'm like, no, we're allowed in. And then the guy's like, we go in, the guy's trying to usher us to the back. I'm like, sorry, we're press. And he was like, okay, go to the front. And me and Danny sat in the second row. Bungo Stray Dogs thing was nuts, mind you. We saw the premiere of season 5. And I told Danny I wanted to try and talk about, because I've never seen any Bungo Stray Dogs whatsoever. But so watching the 70th episode out of nowhere is absolutely, I'm so confused.
I think it was episode 51 that we got to watch.
5 seasons and they're on episode 50.
Wait, no, that can't be right.
10 episode seasons? What?
No, that's super not right. You're right. Maybe it is like 75.
If it was 12. Actually, no. Because if it was 12, that'd be 4 seasons. That'd be 48. So it'd be episode 49.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, some have 13 episodes. So yeah, I think it was 51. I remember being like, "Oh, what a clean number."
Yeah. So we go in, we're sitting in the second row. There's a bunch of cosplayers. Everyone's super nice. The most women we saw at Anime Expo by far and away. Like it was like 85-90% women. Anything the mangaka did, who had the sweetest, he sounded like Deku's Japanese voice actor, like the sweetest little pure voice. He's wearing a mask and a mouth mask and like an eye mask. You can't see, like I doubt he could see anything. The holes were like the size of a penny.
He looked crazy.
He did. I was like, I would have gone for a bigger hole, but he's just like, he says anything, and the women in the crowd are just like freaking out.
It was like going to like a Rockstar Q&A. Like this dude was ready to pull that whole audience. And they also, when we watched it, anytime like Rompo was on screen, like Rompo would show up, who you don't even know, Nick, but like Rompo would show up on screen, people would cheer when it was the first time, then it would cut to another character, and then it cut back to Rompo. Mid-conversation, new rise of cheers.
So if I could give my summation on what I believe Bungo Stray Dogs is, there is a detective agency, and that's where all the good guys are. The detective agency is run by a grumbly old man that nobody likes. Everybody hates him because he was the only man who showed up on screen and nobody cheered for him. It was like he was just like standing there. It's like time to get to work, and it was dead fucking silence. And then there is the two women that were with the guys in the candy cane room, the whatever, what it was pink. They were in the dream world, and they liked one of the guys and hated the other guy, but that makes sense because that other guy was going to shoot them in the back of the fucking head. I don't know why. There was animosity. I think they probably all hooked up at some point, and there's animosity. There was also the magician who cut himself in half. I'm assuming he's Hisoka. I'm assuming he's like super creepy, kind of weird with kids. Kind of shows up like is like bad but not bad. He's a Orochimaru-esque. Super broken. Apparently can control teleport people, which is weird because I thought it was a detective agency. Like, why is there magic? So there's magic. We know there's magic. There's also a page. And if you write anything down on the page, it becomes reality, unless, of course, you tell people that that's not true, because then it just goes away. You're like, Nick is 6 foot tall until somebody's like, actually, he's 5'7". Shrink again because the man.
You're just like, no, please.
Ow. Like, yeah. So there's the man that there's the main character. I think it was Rompo, the main character, right? Right. The one that showed up a bunch. The detective.
You're not incorrect. Kind
the main
of.
character is Rompo because he's like, oh, I figure everything out. It was like the Ocean's reveal of Ocean's 13. It was like, this is how we robbed the bank, and he's like, you know what I did? I dropped off a pamphlet of paper for everybody to like, here's why I'm not innocent, because apparently they got framed as terrorists. They were at a Sky Casino. What the fuck is a Sky Casino? Like,
you've retained so much information. I can't believe how much of the shit you remember about a show you've never seen.
Why did we put a casino in the sky you can fall off of? That's not a good idea.
You want to know why? Because there's no laws in the sky. It's technically not a country.
That's so stupid. I love it so much.
It's not a
international
country.
Waters, international airs.
Yeah.
And that's and then there's a guy who lost his hands, but they ripped his book of convictions or whatever and he was really upset. Like, who gives it? It's a book. Write again. He's like, and now he needs like kidney surgery every month, but Rompo broke him out. Also there's a guy who can just replace a car engine with an electric engine, and it just drove everybody away. It was like Rompo's little fuck boy who's also really good at things. So yeah, Rompo, main character. Everyone hates the old dude. The magician is Hisoka. And
I want everybody to guess who Nick is talking about when he says Rompo's little fuck boy. Don't give him any more info.
I forgot. There's also the white-haired guy who fell off the Sky Casino.
Yes, yeah.
That everybody was really excited about. So that's my rundown on Bungo Stray Dogs. It looks like I think you did a pretty good job surmising it. Tumblr the anime.
Yeah, it's Tumblr the anime for sure. And it's also like
Cats the anime, because like it just felt like the entire episode was just like new person rolled out. Like I just was waiting for somebody to be like Jellicle, dead poet, like.
Yeah. It's weird because like, right, there was a ton of applause for truly every character, as if season 4 ended with us thinking every character was dead.
Yeah, they were just
like. Yeah, like every time somebody showed up, like Dazai would show up and everyone was like, oh my god, the second lead character.
Mm-hmm.
But it was
we didn't kill Sasuke. Like, what? Of course not. Like, why would we do that?
Yeah, but like, honestly, it was the equivalent of Sasuke showing up in like a preview of Naruto. But honestly, like, It's very funny, like, just how hyped everyone was. The girl sitting in front of us was dressed as Chuya, just, like, bobbing and weaving the whole time, like, doing a little dance, like, hyped. Front row, hyped. Peak of her life. And I was, like, so happy that, like, my audience made me watch Bungo Stray Dogs. Like, I felt so, like, in tune with a community for the first time in my life. It was so exciting.
Yeah, no. And then I feel like we saw a gajillion of these Chuyas because every time you saw a Chuya, you were like, nice Chuya cosplay. And then they were like, oh, Danny?
I know, that's why I did it. There's a 50% chance a Chuya would recognize me, and it was very exciting.
I do the same thing with like a good Naruto cosplay. I'm like, yo, dope. And they're like, yo, you're the guy I hate. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about getting recognized? Because it was bullshit if you're Danny Motta most of the time.
Okay, listen, you sound like you have a gripe here, so please go off, King.
You remember that guy who we were going in the line to get into Anime Expo, and a guy turns around and he goes, Nick! And you turn around and he's like, yo, like, love your content, man. And you're like, oh, thanks, dude. And he comes, takes a picture, and then he, like, gets a picture with you, and I'm like... Yeah. And then as he's about to leave, he's like, yo, like, love the podcast, dude. And I'm like, the fucking podcast? As I'm taking this photo of him? Like, hey, jackass. Yeah, like, oh, love your solo podcast, Nick. Real great.
Oh god, it was very funny. There was a fair amount of people though, most of them women, actually 99% of them women who were like, Danny, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll take the photo. And they were like, yeah, bye. And then that was it. Like, I get recognized by men, you get recognized by women. And so one day Danny decided to park pretty much at the shortest, like the parking garage closes at 6. Danny was like, how early do you close? And they're like, now. And he's like, perfect, I'll be there. And so Danny always had, like, every single day, like, we would like leave a panel early and you have to, like, I need to get to my car. So Danny's sprinting away from me and my editors and everybody I'm with. And a lovely lady comes up to me and I'm like, oh my god. She's like, hi, I love you. Podcast so much. And I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. I was like, sorry, I wish Nuktuk was here. And she was like, oh, it's fine. I was like, no, it's not. It's not fine. It's not fine. Because Danny's been complaining all weekend about how I'm getting recognized and he's taking all the photos. Here we are, clearly a Danny fan, like willing to take a photo with me, you know, like, but like very much wanted a photo with you. I'm like, sorry, couldn't be here. He had to stop his car from being towed. But yes, Danny was Nuktuk. Danny, well, he was Nuktuk, and then nothing. Yeah. He was a guy on the third day. But a lot of people loved your cosplay.
Yeah, it was very exciting. It was like the first time I did an actual cosplay before. Sarah made it, which was very kind and considerate of her. And it was funny too, because she would send like update pictures of it. And it's like, no shirt, like a fur vest, and then like short shorts and like fur like
warmers.
Yeah, leg warmers. And it was weird getting these updates because she'd be like, hey, like the costume's coming along well, and I'd be like, it is, and I'm appreciative of this, but stop making me this horny around Bolin.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Stop sending me like scantily clad Bolin like gender swap pictures.
I don't know if I need this in my life currently. Like... Both me and Danny wore fur on the first day, and it was 85 degrees. And that was not great. The line day one was crazy. The line the rest of the days wasn't that bad. I skipped, like I just, there was nothing to even walk. You just have to walk to the end and back. But outside of that, yeah, we met a ton of fans. Like a surprising amount of fans.
It was
like
awesome.
Every person who came up to us was like, oh my god, I love your podcast. And I was like, fucking what are the number chances? I think we probably bumped into 20 to 25 like friends, like fans of the podcast, which like, I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like at the same time I was like kind of baffled by it. Like I'm used to like you got your NC Hammer, because the numbers game, that makes way more sense. That's like that's 650 to 2 million depending on who you ask. Like with the chances to bump into 50 people at a convention based on what I do makes sense. But we have what, 17,000 subscribers in the podcast, so like bumping into 20 people, it's holy shit.
Yeah, no, it was awesome how many people were like, I love the pod. Like I was very like, I don't know. I think we have like the same feeling where it's like, not that we're like shocked because it's like, oh, you listen to this thing, but like, yeah, the numbers game, just like the odds of people knowing us from the podcast was like very cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool. So yes, it was nice meeting all of you. If you got a photo with us, I guess tag us in it. Yeah, that works. I saw a lot of really cool cosplays. We went to a couple of pretty good panels, a couple of not so great panels. Zom 100 was really good. I am so stoked on Zom 100. That's gonna actually be coming out, I think, the day this post comes out, July 9th. So if you guys haven't heard of Zom 100, it's basically what we were there to promote. And it's like a story about a guy who works at a job he hates for a couple of years. Zombie apocalypse happens, and then he just gets to live out his bucket list. The art looks sick.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. Really good. The story is cool.
It's like essentially like Shaun of the Dead, like the anime, sort of. It's like blue collar, or I don't know what collar is which, but like, you know, just abused worker.
I would say he's white collar. Yeah, I mean, he's indoor. If you're indoor, I'd say it's white collar.
Gotcha. He's white collar, just like abused worker, like zombie apocalypse happens and he is now going to like do all the things he's always wanted to do. Yeah, it was just like, it's like this weird like graffiti pop kind of like color aesthetic.
Very
hold on. Time out.
We're trigger-esque. I don't think it's done. You're losing me?
All right, you're good now.
Cool.
Yeah, Zom 100 was good. I think the Jujutsu Kaisen one, like, not good.
It was okay. So Jujutsu Kaisen, they brought out the English voice cast. So they brought out.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No,
they did. No, they brought out the English voice. Yeah, they 100% brought out Yuji's. They brought out Yuji's English voice actor, Kaiji, I believe is his name. They brought out.
What?
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
What am I? No.
What are you thinking of?
Well, because for Bleach, they brought out the Japanese voice actor. He was electric.
Yeah.
He was so good.
He was hype. He was a rock star.
Bungo Stray Dogs, they brought out the mangaka and then a couple of people. JJK, they brought out. Oh no, they brought out
the creator of JJK. Or no,
they
brought out like the animation guy. Yeah, the CEO of Mappa was there. They brought out like the animation director.
Oh, you know what it was? It was Zom 100's voice actors.
Zom 100 had the voice actors.
Oh, you know what's so funny? I'm just making the connection now that I met the Zom 100's voice actor, and I was like, I think you look familiar. And he was like, do you know Jose? And because that's how I meet everybody. Yeah. And now I'm just remembering. He was like, no, I think you got the wrong person. And it was the reason I recognized him.
It was the Zom 100 guy.
Oh, goddamn panel. Fuck me. God damn it. Why am I like this? But yeah, so Zom 100 brought out their English voice cast, which was really cool. The Bleach panel, they brought out the CEO of Mappa, a couple of people from like Suecia, like big wigs basically. Yeah. But like no talent was there.
Yeah, like a business big wigs, like the CEO of Mappa.
Mappa, yeah,
like real cool.
He himself to drawing and yelling at people all day. Like great stage presence on this one. So the JJK one was probably the worst one. But they gave us like a promotional video and then the first 90 seconds of episode 1.
Yeah, we got the first episode 1 is out by the time that this releases.
I've already seen it. Yeah.
Remember the first 90 seconds of it and then let me know if that would have been a satisfying tease to you. Yeah, it's nothing.
In like an hour-long panel, they're like, "Yeah, look, we've been working real hard to get this out." Like, what do you mean the episode's done?
It also ends like mid-sentence. Like it just cuts at the 90-second mark. And they also showed a trailer for the game coming out.
Oh my
like
God.
Jujutsu Kaisen Storm 4.
I think I purposely suppressed that. There was like so many disappointing video games announced at AX. It was insane. Like, they're literally releasing Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know what it's called. It's Storm 4. It's a bunch of characters. You can run in a circle, and then you have a couple of moves. You have your legendary move that does a big, cool animation. It's made by Bandai. They've been coasting off Storm for a dozen years, legitimately, like 12 years, and we haven't gotten any anime game outside of the new One Piece game that hasn't been a Storm copy.
Yeah, and it looks bad. It like graphically and everything.
It looks better than the Avatar game.
Yeah.
It looks better than that, which we haven't even talked about.
I would argue most games look better than the Avatar game.
I'd reckon that I could find 3 people in LA and give them a year, and they would make a game better than that.
Yeah, I agree.
I could walk around with a cardboard sign, graphic design needer, video game editor needed, and find 3 of them and make a better game in a year.
I like the idea of I this is an awful situation that someone could be in, but I like the idea of like a homeless graphic designer, and it's just like, will graphic design for food. Like,
we'll make 3D furry porn for food.
yeah,
please.
it's like the will work for money, but like their work is hyper specific.
Yeah, it's like, listen, like I just give me a $2,000 like laptop and I'll get right work. Trust me.
Yeah.
So that looks, I mean, like not even like no ad here. Raid Shadow Legends looks better than the Avatar game. Like that's what's wild is like mobile. Like I know full on mobile games that look better than the Avatar game. The JJK game just looks like Hinokami Chronicles. It just looks like Storm 4. I mean, and speaking of Storm 4, Naruto had a new game announced at AX. It's gonna be Naruto. What is it?
Is it the Connections one?
Oh
Ninja
yeah,
Storm Connections.
That was gonna be my flashback. So
well, that's not news. That's been announced for like months.
Well, we got a trailer for it. And it's got a unique story. It's got its own story where Naruto and Sasuke are like beefing. That's what was announced. Yeah, because like we knew the game was gonna happen, but like we saw like we got like a promotional video at AX of like what the story was going to be, and it's like Naruto and Sasuke, like some genjutsu things happening, and Naruto and Sasuke are beefing. So it's not like they're not doing the old Storm thing where it's just going to adapt Boruto's story. Would have been a good idea, mind you, because Boruto's story is fucking lit. Like let's get the reason a lot of people love the Naruto story is because in the Storm games they spruced it up a bit. Like the fights are better in Storm, arguably. Like there's just like super cool shit that happens. So I don't know, man. The video games that were announced were incredibly mid, but the JJK thing was literally just like ghetto, like exercising, absorbing, and consuming. It was like the first 90 seconds when like he finds a cursed spirit and he swallows it, and you're like, cool, nice, thanks for that. I'm happy I listened to the CEO of Mappa mumble in Japanese for the last 55 minutes.
I know the translated Q&As are rough too, especially when they have like a lot of them will have like 3 people on a panel, all of which speak Japanese, so it has to be translated. And it's so rough when you get a question that's like, so like, what do you love about animation? And it's like, oh god, this is like when you get a lame question and then you know it's gonna take like 10 minutes just to get around to hopefully a good one,
because they have to go to every single person, and after that person answers in Japanese, everyone's like, like what? Like we had any fucking clue what would be said, and then like we get the interpreter, and then we're all like,
you know what was hype about the Ichigo voice actor though?
Because he was fucking electric.
He was fucking lit.
Like, legitimately an electric dude.
So they had the Japanese voice actor of Ichigo show up for the Bleach panel, and he was the only one there, other than the audience. Yeah. But he shows up. And he speaks in Japanese, obviously, but he comes with such an energy that sometimes he would like say something in Japanese, and then the translator would start to explain what he's saying, and he would cut her off and then say something even crazier in Japanese, and people would go nuts not knowing what he just said.
I'd run through a fucking brick wall for that man in Japanese. I don't even he also knew just enough English to just be like, "Are you ready?"
That's what was sick. That was so sick. They did like a Bankai like off where like he said Bankai and then the audience would say it too. And they explained all this in English. And then seemingly he then explained it all again in Japanese. Like he was like, all right, like now I'm going to let you know what's going on. And he explained it all in Japanese, and now he's standing. Like he's hyped. And then all this Japanese happens, and then he goes, "Are you ready?" And then everyone's hyped. And then he goes, "Okay." And I was like, holy shit, I don't even watch Bleach, I'm ready.
Well, that was the thing, is like a lot of people, like everybody coming out of the Bleach, I would say the Bleach panel and the Bungo Stray Dogs panel were probably the 2 best ones we went to. Yeah. And everybody coming out of the Bleach panel was like, I didn't even see part 1, 1,000 Year Blood War. I want to go fucking watch it now. Like it was like, I'm getting on the train immediately.
No, me too. That guy fucking loved Bleach, and it made me want to love Bleach too.
I mean, he's a millionaire because of Bleach. Like I would also, like if I was like Naruto's voice actor, I'd be like, no, I will die for this show.
But it like helps. Like the Mappa CEO is there just being like, oh, we're putting our most senior and junior workers on this latest season. And it's like,
do you think he loves anything?
No, but I know, but that's what I'm saying.
115 pounds soaking wet, and he's just like, I'm here. This is my vacation. I hope everyone's working real fucking hard back home.
He's like just a pair of ears on a body. And like, but he, like, that's what I mean though. Like, I didn't leave the JJK one hyped about Jujutsu Kaisen, but I left the Bleach one absolutely ecstatic for this show that I had no intention of ever even checking out.
Also, shout out to fucking Daniel Duenas, because I've very, very, very rarely met people who can lie at my level, and my God, could that man match my energy.
So who is Daniel Duenas?
Daniel Duenas is a mutual of ours. He's an incredible artist. He runs a business, drawing people, matching energies, all that kind of thing. Awesome. You guys should follow him on Instagram. He's a very close friend of the pod. He is also a very close friend of us, because that man can lie. Holy shit.
Because he can lie, he's our friend.
No, I've always loved him, obviously. Him and Dorothy got along really well, which I was very happy to see. But like, what was the one where we were like placed behind the cameras? Was that JJK?
Yeah.
We're not on the JJK panel. We're there with Viz. We're not there with Crunchyroll. Very different entities. But we go in, we're here with Crunchyroll. He's up there with me. They're like, are you guys on the list? We're like, yeah. Like, we need to get in. They put us, we're like ushered into like one area, and like we're like trying to get in. A lady's like, no, you can't sit here. We're like, we're on the list. I'm sorry, what? And so she's like, go sit in this other reserved area where there's like it's like a huge, they did it in the biggest possible like state, like auditorium, and dead center in the middle is dudes with cameras, like massive, like watching an MLB game cameras.
Yeah.
So we're sitting behind them with their laptops and the cameras. We can't see dick. And I was like, excuse me, we're here with press. We need to like be able to see, and Daniel's like getting all of the people's names, being like, oh, thank you so much, like, and like just lied our way up to like an even better spot. And we just sat there, hung out, had to split up, not the end of the world, but like loved having that man around. Also, the reason we got industry passes, he's gonna be my best boy. That's kind of a spoiler. But did you watch JJK? Speaking of,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to talk about JJK?
I do. I also just want to say, I think it's funny how like this is like the least relatable we'll ever come off, because we're like, yeah, we like snuck in and lied our way in all these panels, and also they sucked. Like,
listen, I obviously appreciate everybody, Viz, putting us up. That was incredible. Yeah. Listen, legally, we got into all the Viz panels. Yeah. It was just we had to do a little extra work to get into all the other ones.
A little finagling. No, but I mean, we're giving reviews of the panels.
Of course. We're talking about it. We're boosting it. I bet you half the people listening to this podcast didn't even know Zom 100 was coming out. But then again, we were not paid to be there by Viz, but they did provide us with 5 passes.
But yeah, let's talk about JJK, because pretty sick. I have a lot of thoughts about this first episode.
I want to hear every single one of them.
Both positive and negative. But I'll get the negatives out of the way because they're very minor and quick.
I bet your negatives are the same as mine.
Really bad CGI background integration.
Yeah. So the scene where Utahime she finds the rats, like she finds the mice under the bed, and she like runs through everything. It's just like, I don't know if it was CGI or something, but there was a couple parts in this episode where I'm like, the frame rate is really low.
That moment specifically, it's great that you called that out, because I thought I was being a dick, because I recorded my reaction of it and everything, just to feed 2 birds with 1 scone here.
Nice.
And
so I never heard that. I like that.
That's what happens when your girlfriend works in animal journalism.
Okay, well, I have a story about birds that we'll get into in a second.
But so yeah, there is a scene in episode 1 where she sees the mice, and then she gets up and does a little like stumble out the door, and I think it's rotoscoped, because that girl, and I'll explain what rotoscope is in a second, because
I had no idea. I was gonna be like, yes, of course. Yes.
Rotoscoped. In fact, I think it might even be schmooble-duped.
Yeah. I think they did a rotoscomping. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that character, what's her name again? Some crazy name? Utahime?
Utahime.
Utahime. she like changes art styles in that moment. And so I think rotoscoping is where you would shoot an actor like doing emotion. So
Yeah.
like and then just draw over that actor. And so it ends up having a very distinct, weird look. I'm trying to think of like a movie you might have seen that does it. But it like it's like hyper smooth, but also not because it's like literally drawn over footage of a person.
So weird.
And like I think that's like the weird frame rate thing you're talking about. And also the backgrounds are CGI in that house in like some moments and it like does
Really?
not work. It looks really weird.
Okay. I definitely felt at certain times like JJK is like the standard of animation, right? Like it's like supposed to be like absolutely gorgeous. And I think because of that, it's put on this pedestal of expectation. And I think direction wise, it's taking a very different direction than season one. And that also I think has played with the art style a little bit. There was moments, and I think the Otahime one is the worst moment where I'm like, that just felt low FPS. It didn't feel like JJK, you know?
Yeah. It's a new director, actually. I looked it up because I was also like, this is a different vibe, but I kind of I dig this new direction. It's a little more, it feels like Chainsaw Man or like Mob Psycho in terms of like visual feel.
It feels not goofy, but it feels looser. You know, it's like the JJK one is very like, I think the reason a lot of people liked it is the rigidness because the rigidness was done so well. It was very Demon Slayer-esque. But like, I would say this season, like with Gojo, you know, like drinking his cola, like leaning back and all of that.
He's doing like a whole ass like Ed and Eddie walk. Like just like loving life.
And we've seen that in the trailer for the longest time, but it was like kind of nice to see it in the anime. I was like, oh my god, I was like, I've seen that part. But like I think like, and then also what's her name? I literally did a video about it. The Star Plasma Vessel falling out of the building and then the arrow coming and like following her. Like absolutely incredible. So I thought the new direction style was really cool. Actually, like I actually like how they're making it like not goofier, but like Gojo is a very like with Gojo being the main character, like he's a very playful person, but like also like with like genuine undertones of like especially in his early days, like violence. Yeah. So I think it does like that direction style does a really good job of juxtapositioning like against what is gonna be some of like the larger like undertones, like the darker undertones of this like first half of the second season.
Yeah, I think you calling it looser in terms of like visual style is a good way to put it. Like it's like the Mob Psycho style of like a beautiful mess kind of where like when things move, they like blur, but like in a very cool way. And I think the part where she's running out of the house as it's like exploding, like that was one of the coolest bits in the episode, in my opinion.
There's also less detail. Like if it's like a background character, like with Gojo, like it's like he's like just like a face, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't hate that. Like obviously, like it's not as polished as season one, but like I think it's almost on purpose.
I think it's done well. Like again, like Mob Psycho is like what I keep going back to, or like a Studio Bones, like where we talk about the cubing situation. Like I bet we're gonna get some cubes.
Oh, well, defo. I think we've already gotten. I think when the building exploded, we got cubes.
Oh,
but
maybe.
Yeah, I filmed a video being like everything you need to know before JJK season 2, and I've like multiple times said like I understand JJK, but like I probably will fuck up saying something. And my entire comment section is like, actually, Tengen-sama either has female pronouns or is androgynous or like it's like agender, and like the first thing that they do in this season is like give him like he him pronouns, and I'm like I don't understand anything anymore. Like I just thought he was an entity. Now he's technically a cursed spirit. Everything is confusing. And then they're like, actually, Heavenly Restriction is not what you described it to be. Like Heavenly Restriction is used by Mekamaru, or is it Mekamaru? One of them. So like it's just like I'm like, yeah, this anime is a nightmare. This manga is a nightmare to figure out. It's like why I'm trying to help. I'm sorry if I fuck up somewhere down the line here. But no, oh please.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I was already like getting a little lost with the like star vessel and shit like that, where it just like comes in so hard with these like analogies, and I'm like
college level thesis, like it's just like, oh cool, I'm studying JJK now.
Yeah, it's like fuck off, go back to playing basketball.
Did you like the Digimon? Did you like the Digimon reference?
No, hated it.
Oh, come on.
I hate the pop culture shit in JJK. Like, I don't like JJK's humor at all. It's like Rick and Morty, where it's like just saying a thing that exists is not a full joke.
I thought it was. I was like, damn. I was like, I knew you felt that way, but I was like, if one thing's gonna get him, it's gonna be Digimon. But
you know what? Honestly, I may be being an asshole because I like felt two sides of my brain war with each other, where I was like, oh, that's cute, like Greymon and Devil Greymon, and the other half was like, stick to your guns, they're gonna come at you if you say you like it, they're gonna come at you.
Yeah. If you lose your grip, that's when they start pulling your fingers back.
Yeah, like this other half is just like, mention the part where she's in the tub, it's pervy, mention the bathtub scene.
Oh, but the opening bangs though. We saw the opening at AX, and I was like, it's kind of lo-fi. It's kind of like it doesn't go as hard as I want to. Listening to it at home, so good.
Yeah,
so
it's cool.
Good.
It's chill.
I hate how much of like the early part of this season is going to be like Gojo and Geto being like just best friends. Like the entire first 12 episodes, like they're like pretty tight. Like this like season also really well like dives into like Geto, like you saw in the basketball scene, he's like, jujitsu sorcerers exist to protect the weak.
Yeah.
Which is like the exact opposite idea that he has in like Zero and all that.
Yeah.
So, like it's so tough as somebody who's like read the whole manga and like knows what Kenjaku does and all these kinds of things to see them be friends and just be like, it ends. It all ends. It feels like this is an analogy that you're not going to understand, but our viewers will.
Okay, I'll just take these off then.
Yeah. Listen, this one's for all of the viewers. So there's in Sword Art Online, when they get to floor 40 or 42 or something, it's like this super peaceful floor. And they like Asuna and Kirito have been in the game for like a year, and they buy a lake house. And they're like, well, listen, we'll go back to the front lines. And like for like a full episode and a half, you just have this reprieve from like just the madness that is the outside world. And anytime I'm feeling sad, I'll go back and watch that episode. But I'm like, things get worse from here, like people die, like we lose everybody, and it's just like a mental, like it's like this is our safe space, but like there's a fire outside the box.
I like that. I like that concept as you've explained it.
Yeah, like like the sprinklers are keeping the fire back for a little bit, but like they are sprinklers. That's like you're gonna run out of water, the line's gonna get nicked or something, it's gonna be bad. Yeah, but that's all. Is that all the anime news we had?
I have one more thing about Jujutsu Kaisen that I really liked. Well, one, the basketball scene was dope. For kind of what you were explaining, where like, I think it does a good job at being like they're friends, but there is tension here. Yeah. And that is in like, not just the dialogue, because like, Jujutsu Kaisen's dialogue is always whatever, in my opinion, but like, there's like, there's a lot of good like visual storytelling where they're just like, passing the ball like harder and harder at each other. Yeah. And that was like done in a really cool way, I thought. But the really cool bit that I liked. Sorry, do you want to talk about the basketball?
No. I'm gonna elaborate on your point after yours.
The really cool bit that I liked in the whole episode was the girl, like the main girl, figuring out that they aren't in like a time loop. They're in like a linear space that's getting like added to from different parts. That whole thing was like galaxy brain level, like deducing. Like that was awesome.
I love that this feels like me explaining Bungo Stray Dogs. I love that Utahime is the main girl.
Yeah, that main chick.
The main character, Utahime of this season. Yeah, no, like she's gone.
That girl, Jujutsu.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, online. Yeah, this is Utahime Kaisen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the beauty of JJK though. And I do understand what you're saying with the dialogue not being like exactly what you want from it. This season, I think JJK is, in the entertainment like district arc where like Tengen explains he's figured out like Gyome or Gyotaro's like thing through like battling long enough. Now he can make like a sheet, and like that's like the best way to tell about a power through visual storytelling. Yeah. That's kind of where JJK, like, that's why it's the biggest anime on earth right now, manga and all of that. Like, it's got incredible fights all throughout, but also like it does dive into deep and dark themes, but like through a constant battle. Like you have to read Yuji Itadori's face as the manga goes on, and you're like, oh, he's changing. So it's a big thing on picking up on subtleties, and it's not like I'm angry, you know? And I think that's actually like somewhat masterful in storytelling, like being able to tell a very clear and concise story without telling me exactly what's going on, like not treating the viewer like a child and being like, this is how the power system works. Like, you have to figure it out. Like, there is moments where, like, on a more Hikari's domain expansion, we get like a full diatribe on like how it works, and it's going to be a nightmare for people just watching in the anime to figure out, because there's entire pages with subnotes and footnotes and like little appendages and fucking those little like star things, and it's like, this only works in this circle. It's if you get to Hikari's domain expansion in the anime, you will not understand it. I'm sorry. But outside of that, that's like truly the beauty of JJK to me, and we're gonna get that this season, because you're gonna see a change in Geto and you're gonna see a change in Gojo, and they like kind of take each other ideologies. So like, that's the true beauty, is like Gojo's currently being like, you're giving too much constraint to power. Like rules are for the weak to rule over the strong. And Geto's like, yes, but the strong need to temper their strength in order to like be more accommodating to the weak. And watching those two roles reverse over this next 12 episodes and like why it happens, kind of sick.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. This season will be the season that brings you into the fold.
I buy it. I believe it. And I'm also like, so on anime is like the medium for like season 2 is where it gets good, because like I remember my biggest thing has always been with Jujutsu Kaisen that I'm like, it's overhyped. Like, I'm never like Jujutsu Kaisen is bad. I'm just like, man, I don't get it. I don't get why everyone loves it. And honestly, if I didn't see season 2 of Demon Slayer, if I just saw season 1 of Demon Slayer, I'd say the same thing about that. I'd be like, it's good, but I don't get why it's like this record-breaking phenomenon. And like, so yeah, there's like, same with Mob Psycho. Like, there's so many anime where I'm like, season 1's fine, I don't get the hype.
I think the thing is, like, with a large ambitious project, there's so much world building and like front building, like just like you have to like build up the foundation. And like, that's what people say about Hunter x Hunter. It's like the first 12 episodes, like, oh, what like a snooze fest. You say this, it's you. But they're like, oh man, the Hunter exam sucks. I love the Hunter exam because I love the universe. But like, I understand that like, when you need to build a universe that's going to exist for 10, 12, 20, 25 years, you need to do a lot of front loading. Like, the only people who have ever really successfully pulled off like, welcome, now it's getting interesting, is like Naruto. Like, Naruto is the best example of like, because the Land of Waves arc, fucking fire off the bat, you know, and then, you know, everything else from there is, you know, ups and downs. But like that, like One Piece couldn't do it, you know, Bleach couldn't do it. Hunter x Hunter can't do it for a lot of people. Like, all of these anime, like season 2 is usually where it gets good, because now you know the characters, you know their motivations, you know what makes them tick, you know how the universe works, and now you can sit down, smoke a cigarette, and chill the fuck out, you know, like just enjoy yourself, you know, and that's the biggest thing. So yes, JJK season 2 is going to be absolutely massive. Have you decided that you're going to get into 1,000-Year Blood War?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'll try and catch up via manga. I just like dusted off my old. There is
still definitely 640 chapters, mind you.
Until the Blood War arc?
400-ish is where Blood War starts.
I think I'll finish that faster than I would watching the anime.
I have a friend who has a video that's 55 minutes long, and it tells you basically the entire plot line. But I mean, if you want to read 400 like chapters of manga, please actually do. It's the manga. Very good.
How many anime episodes are there?
300-ish.
Gee willikers.
Oh, don't worry. It's 44% filler, so you can skip.
Okay.
Maybe
I streamline it. Maybe I streamline it, toss on a dub, second monitor, it becomes my Diablo show, where I'm just like half watching it to catch up. Because I am a little hyped about it. I just like dusted off my tablet, which is what I read manga on, because I started reading One Piece again. I'm like, I'm sick of telling everyone I'm in Skypiea. No one even fucking remembers what Skypiea is anymore.
It's one of my favorite arcs. I very much remember Skypiea. Don't you dare put shade on an L's name.
I like just met the Liar, Nolan the Liar.
Oh, I thought you meant Usopp.
No.
Just like, I feel like you've known him for a while now.
You and everyone else in One Piece. Like, that's the bit, is that everyone's like, oh, like, he was this horrible coward nobody liked. And then everyone, like, snaps to look at Usopp. Yeah. And he's like, I thought we were friends. Like, what is this? Like,
why did you invite me?
Yeah, like, you begged me to be on your team.
Yeah, no, you should have, because after Skypiea, things get really good until Marineford, and then things get okay, and then things get good again.
I thought people love Marineford.
No, Marineford and
good. Water 7, I hear, like the big ones.
That's so Water 7, Enies Lobby, Marineford is and then Sabaody arc is also in there. That's probably the best part of One Piece, I would say. Like after Skypiea, I think you go straight to Water 7, and then you go to Enies Lobby. There's actually a really good filler arc in the anime as well, between Skypiea and Water 7. So it's Water 7, Enies Lobby, Sabaody Archipelago. I think there's some. No, Thriller Bark is in the middle there. God damn it, fucking Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark is not good. Thriller Bark is. But those are 4 of the best arcs just in One Piece. So that's why a lot of people are like very nostalgic for pre-time skip, because right after the post-time skip, you have Fishman Island, and then you have Punk Hazard, which are also fucking snoozers. Like, don't let anybody tell you they're good. Then Dressrosa is probably the best manga arc, but the anime is 120 episodes long, and it's just a pacing fucking nightmare. Just finished it, loving it. Now I'm off to Zoe. But yeah, no. So definitely.
Oh, you're not even fully caught up. Interesting.
Oh, God, no.
Wow.
I watch it when I work out. I haven't had the chance to work out in a week. I've been slammed. Apparently, Dorothy's parents come back from China this weekend. She's told me like 3 times. Sitting at dinner last night, and she's like, "Oh yeah, we're getting dinner with my parents." I'm like,
You're what?
I was like, are you gaslighting me? I was like, she's like, I've told you this like 6 times. I was like, I have been in a coma for like 10 days, dude. Like prepping for AX, having people over, like
I know. Sarah was like, I was telling her, I was like, God, my throat is like, feels worse than it's ever felt in my entire life. And she's like, I only have so much sympathy for someone who had too much fun that they made themselves sick. Genuinely. And I'm like, easy.
Yeah, like I was like, obviously AX was fucking awesome. Like it was like a lot of fun. Like it was just cool seeing fans, cool seeing cosplays and all that. But yes, I watch Bleach, it's fine.
Yeah.
Also kind of has pacing issues. Like a lot of it's lazy. A lot of the time the anime is lazy. It's like, you know, the thing that old animes used to do when like somebody would get punched, but they would stay still in frame and they would just show the streaky lines behind them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. There's like, it's like, oh, and it's just completely still and then streaky line background. And I'm like, I got to the Iranka arc and I was like, fuck this. I'm reading it. I'm just reading the manga, you know? Because the manga is like really good. The anime, there's a reason. It was like the reason only like your girlfriend's boyfriend, your older sister's boyfriend.
My girlfriend's boyfriend watched it. It's the cuck anime.
Yeah, polyamory is on the brain apparently. Yeah. So yeah, I'm still thinking about how I fucked up with Smosh. But yeah, no. So then there's that, and then there's Mushoku Tensei 2. There's not like a whole lot of like big, like I'm sure like something small. It's got like Tengoku Daimakyo came out and everybody was like, oh my God, this is really good. And it like kind of just came out of nowhere. I think there's going to be a couple of those, but like right now as it currently stands, like all I'm going to be watching, Zom 100, JJK and Bleach. That's in 3 anime a season for me it's half my usual capacity. I'm like at 6 or 7 usually.
Yeah, I think, Zom 100 and JJK are going to be like the 2 I add to my like reaction cycle, I think. I know. I'm keeping up. I'm trying to keep up. And then you know what I really want to get into?
What?
Odd Taxi.
Oh my God. They had so many things at AX too. They had like a food truck and everything. Yeah, it does. It looks cool.
It looks weird and it looks like not crazy, but it does look like something that like I buy, that it's gonna be this weird indie masterpiece, like, because I've only
ever heard really good things about it, and I'm sure comments are gonna be filled with people being like, "What do you mean? Like, you haven't seen it? Like, please watch it right now." I look at Odd Taxi the same way I look at Bungo Stray Dogs. I'm just like, listen, I'm sure there are people out there who love that, and I probably would also love that. But like the physical process of Googling that and starting it, I'll probably never make it there. You know,
it's like maybe it'll be a homework.
See,
at some point.
That's why I love the homework, is because
I
like
do too.
you and me get to like assign each other like some work to do, and like I'll make you watch SAO. You'll make me watch Bungo Stray Dogs season 1, so I can finally understand that Rompo isn't actually the main character.
That won't happen, but
okay.
Like Rompo.
When I said it at AX, you're like, oh yeah, keep that sentiment, please, because I want say that on the pod. Say that Rompo's
People
the
will
main
love
character.
that. People will love that. Rompo usurps the protagonist in terms of like.
Can you tell me who the protagonist is?
You remember the boy? He's like hardly in that episode. You remember the guy in Candyland that everyone's like.
Oh, everyone's concerned about
over. Yeah,
he's having like those like he's like, oh, I can feel the power.
Yeah, that's him.
The fucking main character.
That's him.
Fucked.
He does suck a little.
Fucking Rompo, the guy who fixed everything. Meanwhile, we got Couch Boy being like, "Oh my insides hurt." Shut the fuck up. Rompo's been replacing car engines with electrical engines to save all of your asses. That's insane.
Look, like I said, there are genuine schools of thought that could argue Rompo is the main character.
That's wild.
He goes like, my arc of loving or of hating Rompo to loving him is like borderline internet famous at this point. Like the official Bungo Stray Dogs like fan account on Twitter like keeps up with my shit, because they were like from the very beginning they were like, just wait until this fucker like has his about Rompo.
And finally like you get like awoken to the light of Rompo.
Yeah. No, that'll be your next homework if you ever lose.
We didn't even plan a game for today.
I know, we need games.
Me and Danny usually plan games like while we're sitting like in silence before the pod. We're like, no, how are you? Sure. Do you have news?
It's very that. You know what?
I think I might have two. No, you need one? Okay. I'll just okay. Did you eat?
Speaking of that, here, can I do the opposite end of that? Because that's such a good impression of us, like, leading into a podcast. I saw an ad, and now I'm getting tons of your ads on TikTok because I liked it to save for later. I got an ad for, like, Tower of Fantasy or something you did.
Oh, was it mine?
It was yours. And
I the fuck out of that shit, bro.
I see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I saved it because I want to do. I'm glad I'm asking you.
Wait, you're getting it multiple times?
Yeah, tons of times, all the time.
Oh,
it's so weird. But I'm glad I'm asking you because I was like, I really want to do an impression of Nick, but I didn't know if it would be mean, because you do your TikTok ad persona is like, let's talk about Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy is the new game that you may not have heard of. And you're so just like this fucking energy maniac.
That's what they want, man.
I know, it's so funny.
Listen, I gotta fucking listen. There's a check they gave me reading points. It's a Genshin. Is it Genshin Impact? It's Tower of whatever. Download. It's on one of the app stores. Like, they want me to be like, hey guys, today we gotta talk about the best slept on video game out there. That's right, an MMORPG in your pocket. Today we're talking about
that's different from what you do. You do like as if you're like the villain of like a serial killer thriller movie. Like you're the Zodiac killer, where you're like, you're just like, let's talk about Tower of Fantasy. Here's why I'm 9 steps ahead of you and I've already won. Like, you come in with such intensity, and I love it.
You want to know? That was, first off, one of the worst ad reads I've ever done in my entire life. They gave me just a wall of facts about the game. Not like you've done ads.
I've done Tower of Fantasy. I know what you're talking about.
Have you actually?
Yeah.
So yeah, they gave me just like, it was just like, there's a new world, and then like there's usually like if a little peek behind the curtain here. Let's say I'm doing an ad read for HelloFresh. They'll be like, here's 7 possible plot points, like talking points. Choose 2, and then tell a personal story about you with HelloFresh. So it'll be like, HelloFresh is releasing summer food, and it's also, and the second plot point will be like, we're also releasing a line of dinners that are under 550 calories. So I'll be like, hey, you guys want to stay in shape and like save time this summer, like something like that, and then I'll tell a personal story. This one was just like, bam, 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 just like, there's a new world, there's a new character, the character is stupid, and I was like, they didn't tell me what I wanted, so I just read the whole fucking thing. Ends up being like 3 fucking minutes long. They're like, this is way too long, we need to cut this down. I was like, you didn't tell, you gave me nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I guess apparently I'm a cycling ad for Tower Fantasy.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
I'll never download it, but
I
appreciate the enthusiasm.
I already have it. You kidding me? Come on. What do you listen? Tower Fantasy. Thanks for the check. I appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. I play it every day, baby. I love
every day
fantasizing about towers. What am I? Osama bin Laden? What?
Whoa, that was quick. You were so fast on that.
That was
insane,
dude. Okay, I also this is.
I also saw you like pulling the brake on that as it came into the station. Really, okay. Just sparks flying on the train wheels. What am I, Osama bin Laden? Is this okay to say?
Yeah, there's 2 days after 4th of July. So the pod is completely derailed at this point. But overall weekend in Anime Expo, I think hanging out with Danny has sharpened me. My improv bag is deep currently. I know everybody's like, oh, you need to take improv classes, do all the learn how to bounce off each other. I don't think I need it, man. People are like, oh, there's interviewing classes. So me and Danny were doing a bunch of interviews for TikToks and YouTube and all that. So there was this one guy and he was dressed as the Little Caesars pizza. And I was like, who's the hottest anime character you could pull for a date? And by the way, this happened a couple of times. I'm not trying to expose the Little Caesars guy here. We pulled anybody who had a cool cosplay because it's good for visuals and it's funny. So I'm like, I'm here with Little Caesars pizza guy. Little Caesars pizza guy, who's the hottest anime character you could pull in a date? And he goes, just looks at me for 5 seconds, which most of this we have to cut so much dead air. It's absolutely insane. And he just goes, pizza. And I was like, oh, well, pizza. I was like, well, at least it's always hot and ready, if you know what I mean. And everybody behind the camera was like, yeah. Everyone was like, good job.
And then all of Anime Expo clapped and cheered.
Yeah, everyone, it was like a scene in John Wick 4, John Wick, where everybody stops and looks at me and answers the phone, but everyone's just clapping. But I'm just Danny is probably the quickest witted person I know. I've said multiple times he's the only person I know that's funnier than me, which is why we have a podcast together. But he's sharpened my blade. My improv bag is currently so deep. But that was the thing. It was we were doing these interviews, and obviously the people we're talking to, by and large, weren't content creators. Though we did interview a lot of content creaters.
Yeah, we got a couple. Yeah,
well, so many. We got Danny's favorite OnlyFans lady.
Easy.
Yeah, number one subscriber.
Not true.
Pays for messages every week. No, we did super nice girl named Brandy. She was ridiculously sweet. She was Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw.
She was very nice. Yeah.
One of the cringier interactions we've seen of all time too, with her as well. That was crazy.
What was
when the fan pulled up and gave her a Pokeball?
Oh, that seemed nice. That's not that bad compared to what typically transpires when walking around with OnlyFans models.
Well, so you didn't get to hear the conversation. I did.
Oh, okay. What was it?
Yeah. So this guy pulls up. I don't know his name. We're not gonna expose him. But this guy pulls up and he's like, "I've been looking all over for you. I saw you were here." And he's like, I brought this to the con. I'm making it seem less awkward than it was. But he's like, I brought this to the con. It's a huge Pokeball with things inside of it. And he's like, "It's because you're always so kind to me." And I was like, how have you ever talked? And then I remembered you can buy messages on OnlyFans. And I was oh, and then he comes up, we're talking to Brandy. We're, both. And he's like, who are these guys? She was like, oh, my friends. And I was like, oh, God. I don't want to be a face memorized next to her. Please, I just met her.
It's sweet. The Pokeball was nice. Because there's some interactions where that was sweet, and it's always I think you get dead air when doing the interviews because no one wakes up in the morning, puts on their finest Papa John's outfit and is ready for an interview. So I get being awkward, being shy. I certainly would be if someone came up to me and interviewed me. It helps doing the interviewing. But I have been in interactions where when I first met Brandy, who again is the absolute sweetest content creator I've ever met in my entire life, very nice person. where it's just like you'll be in mid-conversation and some just like 40-year-old man comes up and is like, I'm a huge fan of your work, like, can I get a picture of you? And usually when people are like, can I get a picture, it's like with them, but they'll just be like, can I get a picture of you? And then she'll like take 10 steps to the left and they'll just take a picture of her. And I'm like, whoa. And then she just comes back and she's like, I know. And I'm like, whoa. What a different life we live.
Here's my thing. You know her work, right? There's probably plenty of better photos out there.
I mean, I guess it's just to be like, I met her, all of my friends. But then it's like, be in the picture. Yeah, be in the picture, my guy. Like, that's okay.
Let's say you stumble upon your favorite porn star. Mine is Riley Reid. I'm willing to admit that. Would you be like, hey, big fan of your work? Like, love seeing you naked? Like, is that, do you take a photo with your favorite porn star?
I'm happily in a relationship. Porn? I don't know what you are talking about. No, look, honestly, I genuinely don't think I would even recognize them. I think I'd need to be pointed out. I need to have it pointed out.
Not seeing the face.
Yeah, like, I would, unless they have a dick in them. Like, I'm not like...
That looks familiar to me, actually. Wait, why are you naked? What have I stumbled into?
No, well, here's the thing. I don't think I would, and it's like, for the reason I wouldn't go up to most actors that I even like. Because, like, I will go up, the reason I'll be more nervous around, like, Caleb City is because we're like in the same field. He inspires me a ton, like love his work, and like we're a relative same age, so there's like a possibility we like hang out, you know, there's high stakes. I saw at the Foo Bar premiere, I was like just in a conversation next to Ron Perlman, like just standing right next to him, and Jose was like, you should say something, say hi. And I was like, I have nothing to offer Ron Perlman. Like, he doesn't care about what I have to say. Like,
you have mustache growing tips.
Yeah,
is that?
It's like if Riley Reid was standing next to me, and it's like, oh, I love your work. She knows, you know, like she knows that I love her work. Like, what are you talking about? What does that give her? Yeah, like it's like I don't think I have anything to offer a porn star unless I'm like, hey, I have this sick short film. I want to launch your acting career. Also, we should have sex. Like,
yeah, there's also that other small caveat, dude. Yeah, so it was a trip.
Would you?
It was cool. We got a lot of people. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you would.
That did the you know, pizzas, or we interviewed a Frankie and he just went super.
I like the idea that we had a lot of people going pizza, but only one little.
Yeah, it was like you with the Ratatouille cosplays. He just kept seeing Ratatouilles just around.
So many people were dressed as something and Ratatouille. It'd be like a Sasuke with Remy on his shoulder, or like a Denji with Remy. It was weird.
Yeah. There was also a lot of people. There was like somebody was selling the Pochita like ones where you have like a magnet you can put on your shirt. I could not find them, and I'm so fucking jealous. But yeah, do you want to get into best boy?
Sure.
Okay. My best boy. I'll go first here, and if you're thinking,
okay,
you hit it with an So I was like, I'll give you a second to.
No, go on. Is it yours, Daniel Duenas?
It is Daniel Duenas. Yeah, because you got us industry passes. Because flashing a regular pass and being like, because Viz, I was like, hey, can you get exhibitor passes or like press passes or something? And they're like, no. And I was like, you're literally the presenting sponsor. What do you mean no? I was like, you print more. What are we doing?
Yeah, create some. What are you talking about?
They ran the show. Print more money. It's not hard. But like, it's literally without Daniel, we would have been in lines out the door. And I probably would have very different opinions about Anime Expo. But currently, good.
No, it's definitely hard to recommend if you don't have those passes, which is like the equivalent of being like, the Oscars sucks if you're not a award-winning actor.
It's you're putting on an aisle seat waiting to get your fucking best performance like Oscar, then otherwise it sucks.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, what does my opinion matter?
Genuinely, we are so out of touch.
Yeah. My best boy, I think, is the Oda Q&As at the end of every chapter of One Piece.
The SBSs?
I'm going to start screenshotting every goofy one that I find, and I'm going to start doing a like 2 truths and a lie with you because they're almost always insane. Oda is such a strange guy.
I mean, he's been working on one story for 26 years, and all of his editors, he like looks at them and like, because he just got a new editor like a year ago, and he's like, "Get ready to die."
Die for One Piece.
I was like, "Oh, okay," but like he's literally, I think Oda runs the Zom 100 business. Like I genuinely think like he's just like running ship. He's like also whenever what I love about Oda is whenever anybody asks him like a power scaling question, like how far can Luffy stretch? He's like 1 Gomu Gomu, and he's like, go fuck yourself. Like I write the manga. Like I don't give a shit. Like
a lot of these answers are go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's literally it's like how many hands can Nico Robin make? And it's like 100 Hana Hana, and you're like, good.
Yeah,
why not? Yeah. No, they're the SBS and then the manga cover, the manga cover stories are really important actually because the manga cover stories are canon.
I know, I hate that because it took me like until 100 chapters in to realize that I was learning what's happening with the fishmen in real time.
Yep, you learn what happens with the fishmen, and you learn what happens with Enel after Skypia.
Yeah, you learn what's that kid's name with the crazy glow up? Kobe.
Kobo, of course.
Kubu Lubu.
Kubu Lubu, well-known One Piece character.
Like you get his whole story. Like it's wild. But anyway, I have 2 questions that are very funny. One, the reader. How are you, Mr. Oda? You must really love summer since you like to be naked.
He does.
First off, what is that? What is that public knowledge?
Why do we know that?
That's what the fuck question. Is that?
Yeah. Why is that like well-known information?
So then in response he goes, Yes, I love to walk around in the nude in the summer. I soak in the tub, then go outside naked. I get a lot of looks from the girls' softball team as they jog along the riverbank. Yay, it's summer, I call out. And then he goes, are you crazy? I'd get arrested.
Okay.
Oda, you're the one suggesting all this. Don't say we're crazy. No one's saying you're the one harassing the softball team except you.
You're the one drawing the fantasy here, friend. That's your words.
I saw you like clutching your pearls until he was like, I'm joking.
I've read that one too. It was just like years ago, but like, god damn, I forgot. It was like so dangerous.
What a lunatic. And then the second one is he doesn't give a crazy answer, but I want to talk about this. So this is like chapter 230, like early on, right after Alabasta. They go, I have a question, Oda-sensei. I understand that long ago in Britain, noblemen were addressed as sir. Is that why you got the sir? Oh, wait. Noblemen. Oh, never mind. I fucked up.
You fucked up?
I fucked up. I thought it was noble women. Because so here's the lead. Why does everyone think Crocodile is a woman? I can't find any evidence of this.
You'll learn in Impel Down. Do you want me to tell you?
Is there actual evidence?
Sort of, kind of. It's called Croctomom. It's like one of the more popular theories. It's
like enough to be like a genuine theory, or is it like a meme?
That he is a woman. It's that he was a woman.
Right.
Do you want me to tell you? Okay, I'll give you the general premise. Okay. So obviously Crocodile is very involved in Luffy's life. Also, Crocodile used to be a part of did he used to be a part of the Revolutionary Army? I genuinely don't remember. But in the Revolutionary Army, which is an entity that's like entire existence is destroying the world government, there's I guess I want to say woman or man. They're transgender. And their name is Emporio and Vankov. And they have an ability, they have like a hormone, like the hormone, like a hormone ability that allows
like hormo fruit.
Something like that. Yeah. And it allows them to change the gender of other people, basically. Yeah. So they can just like slam their nails into somebody and like now you have tits or now you're a man or something like that. So when you see Crocodile and Ivankov together, they like, and Ivankov is like, Crocodile, don't make me tell him about so-and-so. And so nobody knows who Luffy's mom is. We all know his dad is Dragon, who's the head of the Revolutionary Army. So nobody knows who his mom is, but Crocodile and Ivankov had like a past. And like Crocodile doesn't want Luffy to find something out, and Crocodile's very invested in Luffy's life. So like there is a possibility that at one point Crocodile was a woman who was like involved with the Revolutionary Army, I believe, and like could have been Luffy's mother, which is where the theory comes from.
Wild, interesting.
Yeah. But like it's also kind of like the Hunter x Hunter thing where like Luffy doesn't give a shit, so we'll probably never know, because like Gon is like, I don't give a fuck who my mom is. Like I have Auntie Mito, and I mean anyway, Jing is technically Gon's mom, at least that's the theory I believe. But yeah, so that's why. Where are you reading these theories?
I just have seen it all over. Like anytime I looked up Crocodile, it's like Crocodile woman.
Yeah,
and it's
Crocodile,
like
Luffy's mom.
Yeah,
Crocodile boob. Crocodile boobs.
Yeah,
like,
so I'd seen the Crocodile's Luffy's mom like theory before, and I'm like, what is this? This has to be a meme. But it's weird that only in One Piece could that like be taken seriously and like be possible.
Wait until you get to Impel Down, because Impel Down is wild. It's just like it's like really cool. Like there's like full on drag shows. Like it's like the entire like one is like we need to break Ace out of prison, but like two, like gender is a construct. Like that's the undertone of the entire arc. It's fucking sick. So really, I think Impel Down is one of Oda's like most slept on arcs. Outside of that, my flashback is that we got a Naruto Storm's Generations. It's Connections. I said Generations.
Generations just came out like previous to this.
Yeah. Trailer, Naruto versus Sasuke. But yeah. What's yours? Do you have any news?
I think I might have had news. Have you already said that like oh my god. Speaking of porn stars,
Riley Reid just followed me.
Speaking of porn stars, I accidentally screenshotted porn while watching it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought porn. What was it, you bastard? So you're scrolling through your photos, fucking. Oh, it's an ass.
It's just like up there, and I'm just waiting for it. I'll for sure delete it, but I'm just waiting for it to like get me into some trouble.
I love that for you. You're just a ticking time bomb. Sarah going through your phone like, whose fucking ass is this? And you're like, it's a well-known lady.
Have you ever gotten into trouble? I thought I screenshotted some news, but I guess it doesn't exist. Here's my news. Have you ever gotten into trouble before with like your roommates or anything seeing your nudes?
Oh, my nudes?
Yeah.
No, I've walked into my roommate's just straight up working one though, and I was just like,
that's worse. That's way worse.
Way worse. Yeah.
I had a funny story to it, but like a couple weeks ago, like not long ago, I was like on my phone and my roommate was in my room, and I was like, I think we were talking about like a new League of Legends champ like releasing. Of course. And I was like,
as guys do.
As just dudes do when they're being bros.
Fucking hanging out.
Just a bunch of dude shit. So anyway, my penis came into play when I was like, yeah, I sent you the picture, didn't you see? And he was like, oh, no, I didn't. And I open up my photos, and it's like, I'm a very insecure, like, nude taker. And so it's just a wall of, like, the same image. Well, I'm just like...
you're trying to get the right photo?
I'm trying to get the right picture. It's just, like, a whole, like, album of it. And I'm just like... But I'm like...
You're just scrolling. You just fucking keep scrolling.
Like, sorry. Like... Well, it's like, they're, like, tasteful enough, too, that, like, it wasn't like, ooh, like, oh, and it was all awkward. It was like, I open it, and he was like, Danny. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like...
I'm sorry, I'm coming. What?
And just like, I'm like, here, it's online, actually. And I, like, minimize whatever I'm looking at, and it's just, like, my nude in Photoshop, like, getting work done.
Add a little length here, take it a little girth from here.
Yeah,
that's so fucking funny. I've had bad nudes experiences, but never with like people opening my phone and being like, that's porn, you know?
Because that's more interesting. What is a bad nude experience in other words?
I was 16 years old. I was snapping a girl, and her name was Megan. And I was 16, and I was sending some raunchy shit to this girl. And I'm scrolling through Snapchat looking, just like surprise her with something in the morning. I just clicked the wrong
That's
Megan.
Always a good intention.
And
nice.
I clicked the wrong Megan, and I sent it. And then I was like, oh, that was good. And I got ready like with my day, and I was like, wait, no. She spells her name weird. I looked and I was like, I sent it to a Megan who spells her name correctly. I'm like, the things you can unsend things now. You can't do it anymore. I'm like, please don't open that. Please. It's a video, man. It's like, it was disgusting. And I'm like, please don't open it. Don't do that. She opens it. She reads it. She's like, never DM me again. This is a girl I used to ski with. That we were like, she had a crush on me when we were 12, and we were like the Snapchat friends. We hadn't talked in years. And just out of the blue, her 12-year-old crush just sends a video full on swinging hog, and she's just like, the only way I'm like I can sleep at night after this experience is like hoping that she forgot who I was. That is literally the only way, because like it was one of the most horrifying, probably way more horrifying for her than me, but like I was like I'm not taking photos anymore. I was like, I think I've retired from the game here.
Just like smashing your phone like
fucking over my knee, just like, we're not doing it.
I had, real quick.
Yeah.
I had I was like seeing this girl who we'll call Molly because that was her name.
Okay.
And
Molly last name.
And I was like hooking up with this girl Molly for like a while, and I had 2 Mollys in my phone.
Nightmare.
And like the dumbest thing in the world is that like Molly, one of the Mollys was from high school, who I truly never spoken to, and was just like probably part of like a project or something, like a work project. And hadn't talked to her in years. And I kept not adding a last name to her contact. So I just kept sending this poor girl like, hey babe, we still meeting later, winky face. And she's like, I still don't know you. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
No idea who you are. Yeah, this is a general tip to all the ladies and men out there who are dating. If there's somebody, if you're seeing somebody, let's say I'm dating a Daniel, and there's other Daniels in your contact roll, and you haven't talked to them in 3 years, delete them. Get rid of them.
Gone.
Clear out your contact list. Don't run the risk, because let's say you're drunk and you're trying to like get in and you live with them now, and you're like, oh, and you call Daniel, and it'd be like, call Daniel 4th grade art project, and I'm like, I will kill you. I will literally end your existence.
Oh my god! Actually, I just remembered.
Benefit of dating somebody with the name of Dorothy. It's like, unless I go back 50 years, I'm not bumping. I'm not bumping into any of these other bitches.
I know. Go, fellas, ladies, go find yourself like a Gertrude. Go get your
a Vesuvius. Find somebody with a unique name. All right. Like I met so many people with like, I met a girl at the party with the name Oxy, and I was like, hello.
So someone recently like resurfaced one of my embarrassing texts I sent them accidentally. Oh, no. When I was like meaning to send it to like a different person. And it's just a screenshot from like 2018 that goes from me. I go, what you up to, baby girl? Immediately followed by, hey, so listen, in all caps. And I go, you're clearly not my Tinder date. And they go, what? And I go, I forgot to put your name in as a contact. And I also forgot to put this girl's name in, and I thought you were the girl I've been talking to until I realized you're Oliver.
Oh my fucking god.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Hey, baby girl.
Hey, baby girl. The worst text to receive from a man you've like just met, kind of.
Yeah. Oh my god, what a fucking nightmare. And since we're not streaming, we don't have love letters. But I mean, do we want to like pose ourselves a question? Do we want to think of a question and just be like, for TikTok, or? I'm trying to think. Ooh, yeah. You know what? We asked a lot of people questions at Anime Expo, and a lot of them were hard. So I'm gonna ask a question here. Daniel, who's the hottest anime character you could pull?
I was thinking about that. Who's like a cute like soft girl? Like I'm not pulling like a Rukia from Bleach or something. No. Or anyone
fighting ability whatsoever, it's just not gonna happen.
Anyone with any like confidence or like edgy material, like that's not for me.
Father figure.
Yeah.
No.
That's not for me. Absolutely not. I'm trying to think who are some anime women that are like cuter and softer. Like, I could pull Hinata. Like 100% no competition. No competition, including Naruto. I'm pulling Hinata.
Listen, you give her an ounce of attention. The problem is, though, she is attracted to Naruto, who's like genuinely the most impressive person in his universe. And you'd be like, I hit a piece of wood with kunai earlier, and she's like, that dude just fucking summoned Kuraba. Like, what?
Listen, if we're staying true to what I think about the strongest anime character I can fight, I'm kicking Naruto's ass by like age 10.
Okay, so you're asserting dominance early.
Way early. I'm beating the shit out of Naruto.
That's basically Kiba's entire plot line, is like strong for a couple of episodes and then just got shit on.
I think Kiba should pull harder. I think Kiba should pull harder narratively and romantically.
He's got in filler, he has a girlfriend who's a cat. She's a cat girl. And it's like, oh, because dog, cat's a dog.
What? Who is Kiba's girlfriend?
It's like there's like a whole filler arc about like her and him like trying to get together, and like it's in Boruto. It's not in Naruto.
This is the most boring looking chick I've ever seen in my life.
It's Kiba's girlfriend in filler. Would you want them to roll out the punches?
This is so not a fucking character design.
It's who she is. That's you can't complain. The hottest character I could pull, like if I wanted to go like a big name value, I'm a historic climber of towers. I love tall women. It's always been, as a 5'7" man, it's always just been like the best way to like kind of like cripple myself a little bit. Be like, hey, listen, let's shoot for the stars here. If you shoot for the stars and you miss, you land on the moon. So like I say Robin because older women love me. 1, 2, 6'2", absolutely. A gajillion hands, but Robin's tough because like, she's on a crew full of attractive, sick ass men. So my more realistic pick is Mem from Oshinoko. She's a YouTuber. And I listen, as a YouTuber, I would understand we be in the same circles. She's super cute. She wears like little like ears things. She's blonde. She's an idol now. She lies about her age.
How old is this girl?
She's 25, I think. Yeah,
okay.
She's my age. But like she's like her bone structure makes her look young and all of that. But like she's a YouTuber, so I'm like, yeah, same circles, same everything. Could be a power couple, baby. That's who I'm going with, man.
She is cute. She's very cute. She's got her weird little like devil horns going on,
which I love. I love quirky. I'll go for that absolutely every day of the week.
I always think about I know a lot of people like to say like power from Chainsaw Man. There's this huge like power.
Nobody on Earth currently could pull power. One, she doesn't give a shit. Like she hates humans.
Well, here's the issue. There's such a like lust for power, and she reeks. She like reeks. I don't get it. She like canonically smells like ass.
So does Mikasa though. So does Mikasa.
Well, I assume everyone in Attack on Titan does.
Well, still, I mean,
but if everyone in Attack on Titan does, then nobody in Attack on Titan does.
I guess you would go nose blind to it a little bit, like Victorian era England. You're just like, oh, you're so beautiful. She smells like 30-day-old BO.
But if everybody smells like they do today, and then you've got like no white power walking around here with the poopiest cheeks this side of the Mississippi River.
You know what it is? I think it's the horns, man. I think dudes love horns.
I guess so. It's like, but for what though? Is it what? It's like head nipples? Like, what are you doing with these horns?
That's honestly, I think you just kind of vote on it. Yeah, I think it might just be the head nipple thing. Actually, absolutely, yeah. But if I was gonna go Chainsaw Man universe, I wouldn't. Himeno's always a good choice.
It's got to be Himeno.
Always good choice.
Yeah.
People, by the way, have been like, Nick, you should have Himeno's voice. I listen. I want to do this. People like get Himeno's voice actor on it, so like Danny can be like, but like everybody wants me to surprise you with it because everybody's chasing the high of you seeing us having Toph on the show. So yeah,
definitely. Listen, do another surprise. Do a surprise guest. I'm down for that.
One. Yeah. Like maybe a content creator, not a voice actor, because like I feel like a content creator is like, all right, I'll sit on this couch. Like a voice actor, we should have something prepared for.
Well, at the very least, like at least we've done one. Like definitely don't do our first like big guest episode with
What?
Yeah, really. Oh, by the way, I may get to meet Matt Mercer, kinda. He's at I got invited to like the premiere of like Resident Evil Dead City, which for all intents and purposes is not a movie that exists.
No,
it's like an animated Resident Evil movie, and they're like, it's gonna be screening at this hotel, and the director and actors will be there. And I was like, I'm not seeing Resident Evil Dead City. Like, what are you talking about? And I saw Matt Mercer as the star, and I'm like,
I am seeing Resident Evil.
Yeah, I guess I'm seeing Resident Evil Dead City.
I got invited to, that's so funny. I actually went to a Resident Evil premiere at a hotel, probably the same hotel you're going to go to. It was the most recent live action movie, and it was not good. It was not good. Resident Evil hasn't put out anything good in a long time.
Was it a show?
It was.
I think the most recent movie. I don't know.
Full on movie. Weird. I saw Chris Evans there, which was weird.
That is weird.
Yeah,
That's
he was
weird
leaving. I was like, oh, God, fucking his ass was legitimate though.
I bet.
Yeah. Okay, and that's probably everything we have outside of the fact that I had to pick up a dead hawk today. I feel like I should have said that earlier.
Why'd you have to do that?
A hawk just fucking flew into the side of our house. Like nine o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning. Me and Dorothy just hear
in the morning.
We just thud. Like we literally thought like that's a grenade. We're under attack.
Yeah.
And we're looking around. We don't see anything. None of the windows are broken. And then this morning I go out to go on a run and I'm like fucking hawk this big just dead on my front lawn. And I was like, cool. I have to get a plastic bag now and throw this in the trash. And I just felt so bad. It's such a gorgeous bird. So if it was a pigeon, a dove, a crow, a raven, I don't give a shit. Fucking hawk. Hawks are sick.
I mean,
hawk to die.
I mean, yeah, like you could have eaten it.
Oh yeah, hawk meat, well known.
Get its powers.
Oh, I could have been Hawk Man.
Could have been Hawk Man, my guy.
Just scratch myself with his talon.
Can you imagine if later that night, like, you make this beautiful dinner for you and Dorothy, and she's like, oh, babe, like, where'd you get this? And you're like, remember that hawk? And just like immediately, like,
yard. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, there's the talent. But yeah, that's everything we had. So sorry we're not together. Danny just somehow got COVID, and I didn't, because I feel great.
Sick as hell.
Thank you so much for sticking with us. Thank you for doing the virtual thing. We love you. Follow us on all the platforms. We'll be back together next week, but next week we'll be in the new studio, which will probably, as you can see, my studio looks like I'm a divorced dad who lost all the statues in the divorce, and it's all downstairs. But yeah, I'm moving. We're going to be in a new studio dedicated to the podcast. Some people want us to do it on the couch. So maybe I'm thinking maybe we just put a couch in a room.
That'd be cool. That'd be pretty cool. It depends on how small the room is.
That's fair. Yeah, getting a couch in a door is never fun. But yeah, no, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna enjoy it. We'll be together. Me and Daniel will kiss to see if he still has COVID. I've been NC Hammer, also known as the Weeb Commander, and Daniel.
I've been Danny Motta, also known as DMotta3 on TikTok, and TMOTTT. Yes, on Threads.
I was about to say, you motherfucker. What is your thing on Threads?
On Threads, I'm DMot again.
God damn it. God damn, just localize, unionize all of your names. I'm not getting on Threads, but I told Stank start posting. I was like, fucking.
I don't care about Threads. It's so stupid.
Yeah, so dumb. But more money for Mark Zuckerberg. But okay, bye guys.
Bye.